be Burger versus help me. What's the other team's name?
Tango.
Tango, of course. Both those teams having some quite well-known players.
Yeah.
Though Tango is a new team, so it will be very hard to predict the outcome of this.
I mean, as you said, very hard to predict. This is 54 for Tango, 46% for Burger. This is pretty even between these two teams. The community not actually going one way, definitely. I mean, you said it, Tango, they have pretty known players in this line. Burvey, Reaction, all of those guys have been playing and evolving in some great and strong teams. But on the other hand, Burger, I mean, they were known as GDVV1 in the past. They also had some great performance in World 7 tournaments. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it goes between those two teams. Probably going to be one of the closest match of the day, possibly. We're really keen to see how it's going to be going. What was your prediction for that one?
It's 4-2 for Tango, but I honestly think this match is really just about momentum. I think if one team manages to get a bit of momentum, that's what really is going to decide the match, because I really see them on the same level skill-wise.
Okay, well, we'll get to see that shortly, but once again, just before jumping into that second and next match of the day, we'll get back to the cast desk to see what they have to say to introduce that match. Kian and Daki, please take it away.
Well, hello, and welcome back to match number 2. Once again, it's a lower bracket match on the EU server. It's going to be in between Tango and Burger. Daki, what's your take?
Really like a burger. Wouldn't you? I'd really like a burger.
Yeah, more than
dancing
a dance, to be honest.
Dancing is not really me or Kihan's thing, although I've seen him bust a move after his 15th shot of water.
Yeah, exactly. Those can be very inciting for those dance moves. Anyway, Tango. Maybe we are gonna see them dancing right into that lower bracket semifinal. We'll have to wait and see as they come in under their captain, Sir Jacob, together with Vervi, who is shown to sometimes not even be stupid with his plays. Lukin, Bessie, Mr. Panda, Nether Reaction, Crazy War, and Infinity to round it off. So a team of very knowledgeable players on an individual scale. Team cohesion, however, is another matter.
I don't know if I agree with the analysts here that it could be a close game, to be honest. I think Burger should be well and truly ahead, both in cohesion, strategic department, overall, IMO. They also played pretty well against Cashback yesterday, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I would go that far, to be honest. I'm saying this will be close. I think Burger has the advantage here. The maps will, of course, matter a lot in what kind of style of game we're gonna get. But yeah, these guys have been playing together for a while, and they won the tournament. They were a bit lackluster after, but at the end of the day, they have done it all, and that removes a lot of pressure, Imo. Having done it all once before is you go into these kind of tournaments a lot more relaxed.
All right, so map-wise, we do see Himmelsdorf and Tundra being removed respectively. We have Mines as the first map, it seems. Then we do have Prokhorovka as the second one. Sand River being removed once again. Then Muravanka, a possible map 3. Cliff and Steps taken out of the picture. So Ghost Town remaining. This means that, you know, Ghost Town, if we get to it, it would be the first time ever in this event. We see it during the playoff stage. Other than that, Mines, we've seen it. It is normally a pretty one-sided map, although yesterday it was sometimes a pretty brutal 2-0, if I remember correctly, where, you know, if teams on their attack just try to take the hill and do nothing with it after, then it kind of starts falling apart, especially against teams the caliber of Opur, which we are going to see later today against W. I am very interested how exactly Burger will have adjusted their tactics to what they did yesterday, because it didn't look pretty.
No, it did not, but it's going to be all right, Gihand, at the end of the day. These teams had a little bit of time now to prepare for today's matches, which is, of course, a thing that we got to take into account as well. There's been some time in between. Any obvious flaws or issues with the strats that they had should have been fixed at this moment in time. So I'm expecting both teams to come out strong, firing on all cylinders. What did you predict?
I think I went with a 4-2 for Burgers. Something
Let me
like
see.
That.
Yeah, you went for the 2 to Burger, Insane 4-3 for Burger, and Toxic 4-2 for Tango. That's another brave prediction from the Oracle from Germany, apparently.
I mean, then again, for the last match, he was like 4-0. All of us went 4-2, and it was right in the middle. It was at the end of the day, pretty brutal 4-1 with just a single blind all in, saving us from Toxic's prediction being the correct one.
Saving us, true. True.
But in the end, I don't think either of the teams really care about our predictions. They are going to have to do it all here in the lower bracket because just like we just saw, the team that loses this one is going to be out of the tournament. They're not going to be qualifying for the show match in December either. So actually a lot of things resting on this match for both of those teams. It's do or die here. There are no safety nets. And I do agree they're going to be, they have to show us everything they got. They have to bring everything to the table. It wouldn't make sense for either of those to keep anything back.
No, no, not at all. At least these teams qualified to be here. You know, there's other teams that tried on both servers and did not achieve that. Jakafa. Yeah.
I mean, the one silver lining you can find.
Yeah, no, there wasn't even a silver lining. They didn't even make it to group skian.
No, I was getting somewhere else. You know, the one silver lining you can find with not qualifying for the What 7 is that at least you don't miss another set of silver fists, because those are reserved for the Clan Showdown events.
True.
But enough of that, I think. On towards the match at hand. We'll have to see. If we do see a dance of the very international team of Tango, or whether, the, I think, mostly Ukrainian lineup of Burger is going to educate us all how to cook the enemy team.
I already told you, I'm on the Burger side just because of their nickname. It's just the way it is. I can't help it, bro. I think of a good burger. We should go get one together and try knock again. Imagine we're going to China with this suit. We're going to go find like a McDonald's or something.
The thing is that I actually have been to China before, like 15 years ago, on a student exchange, and we went to a burger place. I'm not entirely sure whether it was McD's or Burger King or something, but it tasted entirely different, and I'm not necessarily sure I liked it more.
Whoa. You liked it a lot. It was the greatest burger you've ever had, Kihan.
It just wasn't what I expected. Let's put it that way. All right. Predictions, though. You're going with the 4-1 for Burger. I'm going with the 4-2, saying it will be a double whopper. And Insane and Toxic on the Tango hype train, saying we are going to see a lot of fire on the dance floor here by the international team. I mean, starting off with mines, normally a hard 1-1.
Normally a hard 1-1 indeed. But, maybe we'll see something crazy from Burger. We saw it be done yesterday, though, if you remember.
Then again, like the attack wins on mines that we saw yesterday, I feel like the defender contributed a lot to it being attacking victories. And that is, I think, a very nice way to phrase it. I think, they just played bad on def. We'll have to see an adjustment, and maybe we'll see that one coming in with the lineups here. Burger indeed switching it up. No BZ shenanigans anymore. It's going to be in depth the quadruple 60 TP, a single IS7, double CS63.
Versus Tango's double BZ, double IS7, a mouse, an E5, and a CS63. Who's defending again first?
So I think Burger should be defending first, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
It makes sense. I was already wondering a little bit. Tango's not that fast either.
But the thing is, they do have some BZs, and we see Crazy War and Reaction driving up here. Obviously, Vikshare and Shik, they are 2 CSs against 1, but Vikshare taking the brunt of damage here. Both of the CSs by the team of Burger connecting here, but Vikshare unable to get that connection. Now Lucan retaliating here, but obviously the BZs are going to be in the middle much faster. The question is, do Vikshare and Chick engage with Lucan, or do they try to farm in towards the middle? That is the question that remains to be answered. They need to get rid of that crossfire from the singular CS. Chick, with that CS now starting to drive around, he's going to be able to win the DPM duel against Lucan.
Yeah, and the fact is that Tango stopped to aim at the hill, Kian. And what this created is this situation where they weren't able to just drive on the hill, you know? They're going to try now to start bullying the middle, but Vic already removing Lucan opens up both the CSs into crossfire, and that's the 60 TP alpha you'd like to see. Never about half his HP being removed in 1 second here. They are starting to peek that middle though with those hold-on tanks, and now they're going to try and take the hill. Mr. Panda is taking a big one, taking a few more from the fire as well. Look here, will get a shot. 576 HP remaining, but they have re-established the hill, and Trash Panda did not have a good time himself in that 60 TP. Chick is just going to take his sweet time to drop off there. Vic is actually staying, and this defense here from Burger. Tango is dancing as they retake the hill. Now they put back crossfire of their own. They do find Neva in that IS-7, but look at the HP, Kihan. But gone in the game, and Furry carrying a lot of that HP together with Reaction is not that good here for the side of Tango.
Look at the left though. Look at the tanks by Burger that are actually Amarak. It was 4 a moment ago. It is still 3. That is all the DPM essentially gone from the team of Burger. We just have to wait for the team of Tango to realize another Amarak though getting repaired. Only 2 of those remaining here, but they are on Lexa, on Trash Panda. 2 tanks that are gonna be almost stunned with half a minute of reload for that 750. Vikshare, the first tank on the team of Burger to fall here. And now that brutal crossfire once again from the hill coming into effect by Tango. Yes, it's only 5 versus 6 tanks, but look at the HP. Look at the positions. Look here, there's nothing he can do against this. And even Reaction in that BZ in the back, he can just turn around to face that CS if need be. Look here, the next one to fall, and I believe Daki, that Tango on their attack, they have done it. A bit of luck, Fortuna smiling on them with all of those Amaraks that got damaged, but in the end I don't think it made a difference really.
No, once it took the hill back, it was all Tango really that put back that crossfire. They did really good shooting before dropping those 60 TPs to lower HP, and I think a bit of the issue there for for Burger is they backed off from the middle, Kihan. And you know what? When you have the double CS on the hill, I think they just got to fight at that corner and utilize the 4 line, right? That left-hand side of the rock with those 2 tanks they had there to create crossfire onto the sides of the Tango tanks, accept the damage, rotate in between, and then get that double CS 63 involved. Maybe the initial trade wouldn't be that good, Key, but imagine, right? Lucan falls on the hill, and then you have both Vic and his friend Chick that are now also starting to farm the middle. Even if he didn't trade that well initially, I think once those CSs start getting involved as well, you have all the crossfire to bring it back.
Exactly. The thing is, as soon as you have that double CS on it, you just need to keep pressing that advantage, and that is not what we saw by the defending team. That is not what we saw by Burger, that in their second Mines defense of the playoff stage here, for the second time, tried to contest the middle. This time with a different setup, but I think, yes, I liked it too, but I think the calls were just the wrong ones. You just need to stay there.
Backing off, I think, is the downfall of a team there. Because once you fall back, they have the better hold-on positions on you. You know, like once you back off from that middle, they start being able to put the shots into you. Fury actually in that mouse doing a remarkable performance.
Yeah, Vervi showing up over 5k damage, but I think the enemy team sort of made it like a little bit easy for him as well. Because, yeah, you know, whenever the mouse turns the turret to aim at you, it's kind of easy to retaliate, to get shots back into it. And he doesn't even have a lot of block damage here. But the thing is, with that mouse, obviously, it's not the fastest tank, right? It feels like I'm stating the super obvious here. But with the mouse being very slow towards the middle, that means Vervi actually keeps a lot of the HP that he has before he arrives there. And as soon as he is there, then people see like, oh, well, it's a 3.5k tank. might not even make sense to shoot him right now, and then he can just freely peek. He essentially gets free play. He can pick and choose his shots. He can aim them well because he doesn't really need to worry about losing HP at that point. So yeah, good. I mean, he still has.
Who was it yesterday
make it
that
count,
played the middle with all their tanks and used the E5s on the rock to crossfire? Who do you remember who it was?
I think it was Opur against Burger, no?
Was it? Because like this is kind of what they could have done as well, right? If you think about it, you know, you use the 60Ps on the one side on the rock.
No, it wasn't Opur against Burger. I think it was Cashback against Burger. Now that I think about it.
And it was Burger themselves that didn't know that. No, whatever. Anyways, they just used those tanks at the middle to isolate the group of tanks, and that's kind of what they could have done here as well. No, if you think about it, they had those two tanks on the rock. They could have used those to went to the left and then be able to utilize that crossfire to their advantage. And like honestly, I think they got afraid and they're like, we have the hill, we can back off from it, and I think we could see what kind of result you get from indeed backing off from that hill area.
And I mean, the fact is even that as soon as Tango started driving on towards the hill with like double heavy, then it was over, and they didn't even get lucky. Like one of them got set on fire, got tracked, all of that stuff, and you know they.
The damage on the hill was significant.
Yeah, the damage on towards the hill cross was significant, but one of the tanks actually made it over with like 2k HP, and at that point in time, the hill is lost because, you know, your CSs, they took damage on the cross as well, and the enemy tanks, they still have the middle, so you're left with no positions, nothing to work with, and at that point in time, you just have to admit the defeat. Your CSs from the hill have to scatter towards the wind, you lose the crossfire, you lose everything, essentially, and that all of that just coming from that single move to the hill, that where Tango just accepted the damage and was like, yeah, we accept the damage, but we win the game in return, thank you very much, 1-0. And that is kind of concerning for the team of Burger here, because losing your Mines
defense yes,
as the first round of the match, and now you have to play Mines attack, and it's more likely than not going to be a 2-0. It is a scary prospect to go up against.
On this, I could agree with that completely, Ken. Losing your Mines defense, it's like Mines defense is supposed to be that warm-up round, you know?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the round where you come in, you pick up the first round, and you're like, woohoo, let's go. But now, they're already under pressure. We'll see if Tango decides to go for the more passive defense or the mid defense. I think that's the biggest question here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that is where Mines basically is the sort of weird map where the defender decides the pace of the game and not the attacker. Not that I mind it very much. It's like a nice switch up from everything else, but it can be very challenging as the attacker if you don't pick the right lineup, for example, to break a hard camp. Then you already see the lineup and you're like, well, you know, time to think about the next round, guys. We'll play an all-in somewhere, or we'll just, you know, let time run out, as we saw yesterday. Maybe we'll see the hard camp, maybe we won't. That is obviously up towards both teams, and now Burger coming into this one looking to equalize a triple BZ, double IS7, 1E5, and 1 CS63.
Tango, on the other hand, 60 TP, I7, double mouse, 277, S-Kunk, and a VZ. I think we can predict the pace of the game here, Kian.
Yeah, Tango are going to be defending, and the tanks that they picked do not lend themselves to a mid brawl. I think that is fairly obvious. That is fairly safe to say, and indeed, Mr. Panda and Crazy War are going to get diverted towards that 1-2 line, where they are going to meet 1 IS7 and 1 E5 from Burger, respectively, while Vikshare is going to go drive up the hill. He's not going to get punished for it. Position taken for Burger, but that was always going to happen. Tango are not going to be specifically unhappy about that, and now we'll just have to see the reaction driving in towards that middle of the map in that 60 TP, taking a lot of damage for that.
Taking a lot of damage indeed on that 60 TP. We saw that yesterday, though. Those 60 TPs are all very often getting punished very hard for those kind of plays, right? Now, though, Burger taking the hill by themselves, establishing it. And again, did you notice Vic's particular set of equipment again?
I did not, in fact.
He has binoculars.
Oh.
That's kind of like...
the Hori we saw yesterday, and he's
Yeah.
blind shooting currently.
He's knocking over trees on the cap.
Yes, he's knocking over trees on the cap, and I think he's even trying to create the same position that we saw the Hori use yesterday, where possibly they will be able to double bush against Lukin in that mouse and completely suppress him. Even though Chick there with the IS-7 doesn't really have the best amount of pen. Like some of the tanks, they don't care if the mouse starts angling its turret. Ooh, good hit by, I think, Rated there in towards Verby in the mouse. Is going to probably have to evacuate as he even takes a second shot. But on the other side of the map, Tango actually with sort of a counter maneuver, sending Crazy War with that 277. He's going to have a hull down position. He's going to be able to face off against Lexa.
Yeah, but Burger's start here, Keyhand, I would say it's pretty good so far. I mean, they didn't take really a significant amount of damage on one tank. They took damage on a few different tanks where reactions already on a 1.2. Very on the mouse is, well, still fine because it's a mouse. But all in all, starting damage-wise, I think Burger's pretty content.
Yeah, taking a couple shots, or rather like 4 shots on 4 different tanks is not the biggest of issues. Although Lexa does have to fall back, and Crazy One now is in that singular bush here that does essentially control the A4, the A-line cross. So Lexa and Caesar here currently caught a bit. Crazy War with a lot of information. I mean, he would, on the other hand, obviously see if more tanks get rotated in towards that 1-2 line. And we can see Sir Jacob very, very close towards the hill. And he could repush that at any point in time. Obviously not against the triple BZ that's on it right now. That is still a bit concerning that basically the S-Conk, the double mouse, they can't really help with the hill, and reaction is a bit low in HP. But I think the repush potential here on towards the hill for Tango isn't really there. And they also have like a lot of tanks committed in very, very deep, so they can't really punish the 1-2 cross. That being said, Chick does get spotted out.
Yeah, but he'll also immediately know where that's from, though. He might have wanted to go towards 1-2. Because I also do see 1-2 as a bit of a weakness right now for Tango. If you look at the positions of the tanks and the amount of guns that can shoot towards it, they don't have a lot, to be honest, that can actually shoot towards 1-2. Like, if a repush was to come into effect, they would be in trouble. Like, who shoots it? Verby doesn't have a shot. Lucan does maybe have a shot if he reverses. Neva will not make it on time if Chick can get there unspotted. Reaction might have a shot, and it's just Mr. Panda, really.
Just Mr. Panda and Crazy War would get essentially surprised there as well. And we can see Chick trying to drive Crazy War away. And Tango, they don't really have the devices either to be able to spot the rotation if the BZs start dropping off the hill. We can also see the CS has started a rotation now. Vikshare here will be able to reinforce the 1-2 line. And I think as time goes on, with 3 minutes 35 seconds remaining, we do see a game plan emerging for the team of Burger. I think they have identified 1-2 line as being the weak spot in this defense here by Tango. We'll just be able, we'll just have to wait and see if they're able to exploit those weaknesses. Crazy War has been forced off the spot now, so less information. Tango know that they don't have information on the cross anymore. This should spark a reaction, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Chick will probably push 4 line by the looks of things, because he might think that he's still spotted, and then they'll use IS-7 CS combo to push down. But now that Jacob has moved away, that is not really going to be enough. Mr. Panda peeking, but look at the route that the Cisa and Vic IS-7 and CS are taking. They're driving through the lower side, actually. And reaction just falling immediately to the BZs over peeking, I think, from the hill, from the 6 line, the white peak there. You may have seen that before, Kian. You speak next to the rock and you go for the 60p. That worked out beautiful for them. Now, though, it's a 2v2 on 1-2. But look at the I-7 from the 3 line. He's coming to join in. That is Cisa, that's not Cisa, that's Chick, actually. And his I-7 coming through that new little gap there that happens from the map changes. Cisa will survive this cross as well. So this is beautiful for Burger, actually. Crazy War even on fire. he's definitely gonna fall here, and he's trying to make a shield for Mr. Panda. But I think the number of the guns here are just too extreme. And the Hillary push, Kihan, you talked about it before. I don't think they really have the numbers.
Yeah, they don't really have the numbers. The mouses are too slow, but do Burger have the HP on the hill is the question. 10,500 remaining for Tango, only 8k for Burger as the hill push does finally start coming into effect. And as long as the 1-2 line hasn't really been properly cleared out, this means that Tango aren't really going to get punished for that re-push on the hill. We can see Panda surviving there. But the problem for Tango is all of the HP currently is on that Super Kong. That's 2.5k HP that's currently not being effective because I don't think Never really has shots there either. Mr. Panda going to be trying to sell his life as expensive as possible, but he now finally falls. So does the hill though for Burger, and this means that Burger will be able to commit triple cap here and probably even commit murder and get away with it on their own attack of Mines. As look here, boosts away, gets shot down, but it's all on towards the tanks that have to come back to the cap. But all of them are slow. It's the double mouse, it's the super conk, it's the BZ that's on the hill completely out of position. 20 seconds remaining as Lukin gets the kill. But this might be a cap.
Well, I think Neva might make this in 15 seconds though, to be honest. 12 more seconds. I mean, no, actually he doesn't make that. It will be Jacob from the top. I think Jacob from the back actually in his VZ peeking now. He's being aimed at by double tank. He gets deleted immediately. 1 second left. Can Lukin get it? The last second decap. He does die for that immediately though. Neva now in trouble as well. Vuri will be the sole survivor. But if Chick joins the cap, Cesar drove off the cap. If Vic joined, it would have been enough. And now they have 25 seconds to find Vuri. Another Dutch clutcher coming out. We have Clutch Bird, and now we have you can't really make his name into something that bit clutch though. You can try if you want to.
Nah, I don't think I'll be able to, but you know who will be able to do something? It's Vervi here in that mouse. Last round he did top damage. This time he's going to do top important stuff for his team. 2 more seconds as they do try to get into the connections, but it's 327 HP that do separate Burger from the victory here. Vervi, my goodness, they're going to be very, very happy that they're winning that one. Burger, on the other hand, are going to be extremely unhappy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for them. It's going to be 2 for Tango. It's going to be 0 for Burger after Mines, after what feels like a daylight robbery by the team of Tango here that are going to have bright smiles on their faces. And for Burger, it's going to be a gruesome experience currently.
Yeah, I mean, Rated there dying on the 3 line, he could have probably dropped down into the hold down, for example. Would have already denied the VZ. And also, there was 2 guys on the cap. Kihan after 1 died. There was 2 guys on the cap after 1 died, and I don't think Furby reset or he missed a shot. It's like 33 seconds to cap with 3 guys though. If Chick joins
but the thing is, at that point in time, they have 3 tanks remaining.
If they stay on the cap, I think they win, and they force Vervi to overpeak.
Yeah, they force Vervi to overpeak, but how much alpha do they have? I think it was 1 E5 and double I is 7 at the end, yeah, as we see here. So that is 1,400 alpha, essentially, against 1,700 HP of Vervi. So if he just overpeaks last second and resets with HE even, they win the game. So they need to go for him.
He will slide down, though. That is a dangerous cliff, Kian.
Yeah, I think they just made the call to go for him instead of waiting for him to overpeak.
I mean,
either way,
with Lukin with the hero save.
Yeah, Lukin. My goodness. All right, Mines should be maybe possibly be even 1-1. It's not. It is 2-0, and Burger probably. Yeah, the best they can do at this point in time, I think, is, get the Men in Black forgetting machine thingy, and they're going to use that on themselves to forget mines that are happened. We are headed to Prokhorovka, a map that we already saw last match. We're going to see it once again. It's an entirely different beast than Mines, obviously, but it's nonetheless interesting how teams are going to play it. Yesterday even, I think one of the teams from the NA server mistook Prokhorovka for being something that's in the Onslaught map pool. They picked Rheinmetall, but they lost in the decider even. Dopamine against the Bears.
And Dopamine picked the HM?
Yes. And it just died at one point in the game.
That's weird. HM's pretty good though. I don't know if it's better than a CS, but
there is an argument to be made that without the plane ability, it isn't.
Okay, let's just give it a plane ability for randoms. Let's see how that one works out.
I'm not a fan of that idea. All right. If you are Burger, how do you mentally come back into this match, though?
By winning the next round would be the easy answer.
I think the more difficult question is then, how do you reliably do that?
Well, either capping if they're attacking or killing all would be a success. I mean, you ask the questions, I give you the answer. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, no, Ducky, your humor is getting bettered by the day, and that's not a good sign, I think, for you. If I say that.
I mean, at least I had a sense of humor to begin with.
All right,
who even said that was about you? Like, why do you always have to feel so attacked? Victim complex, bro.
Anyway, though, 2-0 for Tango after map number 1. Map number 2, Burger coming into this one with triple IS7, 1S Kong, double CS, and STRV.
And an STRV to round it up against Tango's 3100. Triple Minotauro, a band, an S-Kong, and a 60 TP. All right, okay.
Okay, all right, I mean, first of all, I wanted to make the joke to ask you if you have, like, Lucan's number and ask him if he knows that it's 2023 and, you know, CSs are a thing on Prokhorovka, but then immediately the Triple Mino posed the next question that I wanted to ask because, like, what the hell?
I mean,
I guess
brave.
it's
Hold
brave.
Everything at the same time is the goal here.
Yeah. Lucan here with the full spotting equipment, so is going to be able to outspot any and everything that's on this map currently. But is that going to matter, actually, is the big question moving forward. Minotauro, obviously, brutally effective frontal armor, as long as you're able to angle up somewhat. The gun, however, not so brutal.
But close range works more than fine, though. To be honest, the Mino gun is just that sniping that doesn't really work. And Infinity's pushed up into C1 as well. Okay. I mean, such a wide hole, though, Key. I mean, like, it's very, very far away from each other, and the rotation distances that they would have to cross are rather large as well.
And the thing is that Minotauros, just like E4s, as we saw yesterday, they are not really good re-pushing tanks. They are not good for rotations. They're just good for passively holding. And while in randoms, you know, you might be able to keep like 4, 5, 6 tanks at bay. In competitive play, that is just not the case, right? The problem there is that you will get over-pushed immediately, and if you don't have anyone to back you up, then you just die without having an impact whatsoever. And I think Burger, they're sort of banking on the fact that Tango has a setup that most likely is going to be split because it's so slow. And Tango probably is hoping that the tanks that they have on one side are going to be enough or more than enough to, you know, stop the push from happening. But we are, I guess, on that zero line here now with Trash Panda and Look here immediately getting spotted. About to find that out as Vervi with the first swing on towards the I-7 is going to get only the track, but you can see the intra-clip reload of the Minotauro is so slow. He's going to get a second one. Does he even get a third? Not sure, but he does get penetrated.
Yeah, he does take one shot from the CS there. He's fallen back, and Jacob is now moving to A8, so it's a double layer defense. In the meantime, Lexa has taken the hole that's awfully close to Lucan in that T100. Now the STRV, well, they don't have an STRV. The S-Kong started with an S, you know, of Neva moving over as well. Infinity getting spotted out, though. Needs to be a bit careful. Best hold down. He's not quite that at this moment in time. Doesn't take a second one. Lucan is still very, very brave. But Burger has established a zero line, and this will allow them to slowly climb up towards A0 and potentially get the Minotauro from multiple angles.
And the problem here as well is as soon as the IS-7 is actually above the Minotauro, then even with the APCR possible overmatch or with just the HE onto the very, very thin armor that the Minotauro has on the top of the turret, it's going to be a nightmare. And indeed, the first overmatch seems to have come in, if that wasn't the lower plate, so Burby needs to go back further, but rated. With that S-Kong, Saisa with that CS63, they'll have the crossfire angles, and I think this is why right now, indeed, on the other side of the map, it seems like Burger is trying to make some sort of play. Once again, Infinity, they're staring at the IS-7, 320 penning, not really a lot. Is going to have to do something against that IS-7. Is it going to be enough, though, as the Batchat, as the 60TP, both of them starting to commit in. Big share there from the sidelines. Does tag one of them, takes one shot in return, Reaction getting committed in.
Yeah, Reaction with that Bachelor getting committed in here. Infinity might even get one more. It's Reaction to finish off Lexa. A quick retaliation, a quick rotation even from the boys of Tango. Find themselves a freebie in the whole DIS-7. The SCRV, however, is still there, and he's going to be annoying, but Lucan will sneak down at some point and ruin his life. Verby now falling in his Minotauro as Jacob is in his own 1v1 there. Thrash Panda finishes off the first one. Now Jacob will be the second. Reaction is Bachelor actually just beelining it towards that STRV of Chick, who is desperately screaming to his teammates, help, help, somebody help.
Yeah, mashing down that F7 key is the STRV currently at the moment as Reaction there with the flank in the Batchat, the French player in the French tank starting to get those connections with the heat ammunition, but now Lucan with that T100 having to open up fire just as Reaction does get set on fire. We'll have to see if one more shot from downtown is going to be able to finish off the Batchat. Doesn't seem to be the case. No render distance right now, as never is there in that 1v1 that he is certainly going to lose simply because he doesn't have any HP anymore. Cap does get started.
Yeah, but Rated does find the kill, and he's trying to deny the decap. He did get double-checked there for a while. That was a bit scary, you know. But even with that, I mean, Burger found, what, double Mino and an S-Kunk for losing an STRV and an IS-7. So yeah, Tango found the overmatch, but I guess Neva's positioning was a bit not that great, and even if he was in a better spot, they still had so many tanks committed into 1-2 line key.
Yeah. They had essentially 5 tanks committed to kill one of the tanks that was in the EF-2-3 hole. That was the IS-7. And now we can even see Saisa over-peeking on towards the Batchat. Does get the kill. Infinity trying to drive close, but what I mentioned at the start is the problem here. Minotauro, bad re-pushing tank. T100 getting picked up, and all of a sudden, Burger turn it around into the faces of Tango. It's going to be 1 versus 2 regarding rounds here. And the 2 versus 5 that we saw at the end of the round doesn't even matter, as finally the team from Ukraine is able to get one on the board here.
Yeah, and it looked a bit worrying there, I would say, for a little while when the I-7 died in the hole. And I think they had maybe 1 too many tanks on that, because they had, what did they have? They had the Band, the T100, the 60 TP, and another Mino. That's 4 for 2 on 1-2, and then they lost Verby rather quickly. Yeah, and Jacob was also committed, so you're also going to lose him. So that's another issue then on top of it. It's a bit too much. Like maybe 1 less tank, maybe the Mino should have been repushing instead of the Batchat, so the Batchat can help on the other side. You know what I mean? Like four tanks for 1 is a bit much because it opened up the game for Burger so much.
I mean, 60 TP on an open map like this, I don't want to be that guy, but 10-6-1, It's, yeah. But in the end, I don't think it even was the 60 TP's fault. Like, from the get-go, we were speaking about the lineup that...
Unpopular opinion, they should have also just let the SCRV be the SCRV for a little bit. Just use Lucan for it,
yeah,
you know?
that as well. Just use the T100 to control
the
SCRV.
T100 just drives down 1-2, basically, and he just, like, annoys the hell out of the SCRV. He doesn't really have an impact, and then you have another full HP Batchat to go help Neva, for example. I mean, could be more impactful than killing the STRV, right? Because he doesn't really get many shots, and Lucan will kill him. It'll take a while.
Over time, yes. And the thing is, every single time the STRV gets spotted, he needs to be super careful not to take shots from essentially everywhere on the map. But even then, I think we just saw an experiment by the team of Tango that failed.
Yeah, I mean, Mino, great tank.
3 of them out of 7 in 7v7 on
It's like
Pro.
It's like they have some Hive players, so it's a Hive moment. We're 2-0 up, guys. We can afford to lose a round.
Oh, no. That mentality, they better get rid of it quick, as it enabled the team of Burger to finally not lose a round they should win, but instead win a round that they were always supposed to, against a very, very experimental lineup by the team of Tango. Now we'll be able to see if Tango can bounce off of this and generate another win for themselves, or if Burger, after going down 2-0 on their map on map pick of Cliff, I believe, are able to turn it. No, actually, was it their map pick? No, I think it was Tango's map pick, Cliff, right? Are able to repeat what the other team did on their map pick, if they're going to be able to get 2 rounds on the board here. It is going to be round number 4 in between Tango and Burger. Burger coming into this one with quadruple ISM, 1 S-Conk, 1 CS63, and once again, an STRV.
Tango, on the other hand, no experiments this time. Double IS7, triple S-Conk, a Bachan, and a CS63. So quite heavy, though, for Tango on the attack. I mean, in terms of heavy, I mean, in terms of cooldown potential.
Honestly, the Tango lineup, it's kind of giving me Invil vibes, if you know what I mean. Basically, like S-Kongs, IS7s, and then 2 Playmaker tanks with the mediums, but you can also spring into action with that double IS7 and have the S-Kongs cover. So I think that is a possibility that the team of Burger always needs to be very, very careful, because yes, they do have the quadruple IS7, but actually I think quadruple IS7 plus S-Conk loses in the middle against triple S-Conk double IS7, simply because of the amount of DPM. And now for Burger, I see they're not going to commit contest the middle. Instead, Crazy War is going to take 1 shot in his ISM, and I think he drops down. Crazy War, my dude, you were not supposed to do that. You were supposed to take the hole down.
Yeah, slightly further. Maybe he got scared, though, decides to bail out from it, and this is what we can see now. He's just going back. Could have been a call, though, to be honest, to not stay there. So they're just trying to control the map in the beginning. Burger more pressuring towards 0 line. We saw the CS I7 combo, but another I7 on the 6-7 line. They will be able to establish the hill early if they want to, and I think they're doing just that with Trash Panda taking the forward position. Spots out Neva, so they have info that there's 2 tanks there, and especially that S-Conk will never be able to really rotate out from that position.
Yeah, Burger on their defense, able to get a lot of map control early on. I mean, keep in mind, they also have an IS-7 in like E2-3 that's not yet committed into the ditch, but could at any point in time if needed be. They have an IS-7 6 line, an IS-7 7 line. They have the S-Conk that's on the rotation currently with Lexa. They do essentially have a lot of tanks very, very, very far pushed up. And yes, so Jacob with that S-Conk from what normally is an STRV position does get a good shot into Lokir. And even Trash Panda takes one by Neva here right now. So we'll have to see if actually Tango are able to punish those extensions by Burger that tried to get a lot of map control. But now Lucan does get spotted in that CS, but never seems to have angle after angle onto Trash Panda.
Yeah, and angle after angle. There needs to be some shots from the middle coming out, but it's not working out for them. So he does a little bit of damage. Trash Panda does seem to have established himself in a bit better of a position. And by the looks of things, game starts stagnating again a little bit more. But can't gotta say what Burger is doing here, and what they're doing a good job at, is that running down the time, right? They're running the clock down, and that is going to at some point.
STRV is spotted.
Yeah,
STRV got spotted. He took 1 shot. We'll have to
It won't
wait.
take a second though. The reload of the I7 is too long to punish again upon this. You see the rotation of the Batchat though coming in, because we talked about this before. Time is an important thing to keep in mind, and right now they're starting to slowly be in a little bit of trouble with that. Slowly.
Slowly, yes. Slowly but surely, as Prokhorovka is one of those very, very open, very, very large maps, which means in turn that the last rotation you can do is probably the one at the 4-minute 30 mark, as the Batchat now arriving here on the 0 line to support his buddies of Skonk and IS-7. Trash Panda here down to 1987 HP, which means that the Batchat needs a bit of help from its buddies as Crazy War starts committing in with the IS-7. He does not take a shot of damage by the IS-7, only from the CS-63. This means that Reaction can now start driving in, and once again, the French player on the French tank coming in. Is he going to get set on fire again? Probably not this time, as the second shot does connect. He takes one by the IS-7. The third one does connect into the IS-7 as well, and it's going to be never from the back lines to eliminate the first player of Burger. That was a pretty clean pickup.
Yeah, pretty clean pickup and no reaction from Burger upon this either. They don't think they have a reaction, a move to make. So all in all, good stuff there from Tango. You got that I7 relatively for free. A good move. They're really trying to utilize that patch out potential to single out tanks and guns. And now, though, Burger is in a situation where they're going to get surrounded. And I don't think that they have a real way out of this either, Key Hands.
Exactly. Sisa now has taken the ditch, and Burby has dropped kind of low in his IS-7. But Burger, they are in a predicament. They are reshuffling their tanks currently. They are hunkering down. They're bunching themselves into the northwestern part of the map, possibly even hoping to be able to break out of this contain, hoping that Tango doesn't have enough tanks at some part of the map, which is... Actually, all things considered, it might be a problem for the team of Tango here if everyone just converges onto Burby as we see now, but the damage already brutal onto Rated down to 877 might be dropping out of this one.
Oh, and Vic getting set on fire there, the engine getting clipped at CS63, not having a good time. It's just a CS63 moment, and Burger now falling to pieces on this push, which they felt the need to make. They felt that they had to, and it's correct. If they sat, they would have gotten slowly surrounded and pounded into oblivion. So Tango here, surprisingly, on match point, Kian.
Yeah, Tango are going to take this next round here on their Prokhorovka attack, and I just can't help but feel that Burger, after taking a lot of initial positions, after being extremely aggressive from the get-go, it feels like they were getting very complacent. It felt like they had overextended here, there, and honestly, everywhere. They were not able to punish that move on the hill. That was very well executed, I believe. In total, the team of Tango took like 3 shots of damage for it. And for that, they got a complete tank out of the game. The CS had to move away. This meant that the complete eastern part of the map went outside of the control of Burger. So they felt pressured into that westry push. That just accelerated their loss. Let's be honest.
It did indeed. And for Tango, miracle story, 3-1. Maybe the analysts know more than we do, Key.
Maybe they have the information.
Yeah, I mean, you know. They gotta get something right. Why would they be analysts? We're just casters, you know?
Exactly. But I think the damage numbers here, they say it all. The team of Burger just not able to bring their guns into position, to bring their guns to bear where they were supposed to be, where they were needed to be. And on the other hand, Tango there, I think, with beautiful game sense, I think. They took their time, but at the end they still had a lot of it. They took their time to figure out where the enemy tanks were. They had some good initial trades here, some good information plays there, and then just the commitment to the execute was beautiful to see. Like, sometimes you will see players hesitating, not believing the push is going to work out. Then maybe, you know, they're not pressing W as hard as they should. That was not the case here. Everyone committed in, everyone did their shots. Beautiful execution, clean game, and you could say what you want about round number 2 on Mines, for example, but they were definitely supposed to win this round 10 out of 10 times.
And now they have a real shot at making it 4-1. Did Toxic predict 4-1?
I think he did, yes.
Unbelievable.
Murovanka, and it's going to be Tango attack. And we all know by now that Murovanka attack can kind of be what you want to have.
If Tango win this, they win the match. If they don't, we're going to go somewhere they lose.
Did you see the script? Basically, it's like, yeah, if they're going tomorrow and it's like 3-1, then...
Well, I did all the possible outcomes in my head, and there was only, well, 2 in this case.
I have this gif right now in my head with the dude with the beard, and he has like all these numbers in front of him that keep like converging towards each other. That's you right now, I think.
Yeah, in the casino, yeah?
Yeah.
It's from The Holiday, no?
I just know what the movie is called in German.
What's it called in German?
Wait. Do I actually know? It's the... Crap. No, I don't remember.
Hangover?
Yeah, I think it's Hangover, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's called German. Hangover in German as well.
That's correct.
So yeah, let's see. Maybe we can even go to a casino in China. Who knows? I'm not going to be playing there though. I went once, lost all my money. I was sad.
You go in expecting to lose all your money, dude. And what did you think, that you were going to be the one to beat the odds, or what?
Yeah, I mean, my mom tells me I'm special, so...
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. I'm not saying it. I'm going to keep it friendly. Burger, however, not keeping it friendly. 4 IS7s, 22277.
All right, Tango, 62p at double IS7, 1 mouse, double S-Conk, and the CS63.
That's very quick lineup from Burger. They're pushing something.
They are definitely pushing something, but it's going to be Tango who are on the offense, according to our assets. So, yeah, once again, possibly an all-in being played by the team of Burger, whereas Tango on their attack, weirdly enough, with 1000 HP more roughly, are going to be able to hang back and just first of all take a look at what Burger are doing. They're sending quadruple IS7 towards the forest. They're sending triple 277 towards the 1-2 line. And Reaction does spot out double, make that triple IS7. So already 3 out of 7 tanks spotted for the team of Burger.
Yeah, that's such a fast IS7, dude. This is actually just zooming.
And looking with the ignite onto Saisa, who is not having a good time in his 277. One shot, getting retaliated onto Sir Jacob, but now Saisa down towards 587, and I think the hammer and the anvil from the 5 and the 2 line are gonna strike down like God's wrath onto the double 277 of Burger, who are trying to evacuate, but that mouse, it's going to take so long to kill. The 60 TP also has a lot of support. Burger springing into action what feels like everywhere, but I think the DPM over the team should be on the side of Tango, as Mr. Panda gets the first kill.
Yeah, looking, they're hitting another engine. No fire this time though. Chick trying to escape, trying to make it away into a better position. This Burger team just pushing left, right, and everywhere, trying to generate an overmatch in numbers, in guns. But so far, it's Tango that finds it again onto Rated. Now though, can they clear the north for Burger? I don't think so. I mean, Chick is a little bit isolated there. Lukin is still alive in that 60 TP. Can they find Reaction? Can they find Lukin? No, because Mr. Panda is already there, and the S-Gong dropping Chick towards the one-shot, who's also ammo racked in this. And yeah, even though the HP is even, it's 4v6.
4v6 currently with the guns, and the thing is that the only tank that is currently low is Lukin. I think Victor are just bouncing once more. Another shot onto that 60 TP, who has that big meaty alpha gun. However, Lukin not connecting either. And now Reaction and Lukin actually need to be careful against the single IS7. However, Verby and Never, they seem to have found Lokir. That does one more shot onto the move into Crazy War, but gets shot down in the process. 3 tanks remaining for the team of Burger, and also the HP. They are not there anymore for the team in yellow. It is 6 versus 3 guns. It is 8 versus 3 KHP.
Yeah, Burger here with a really quick defense, not finding the overmatch that they wanted. Bit unlucky that Cisa there gets set on fire in the beginning, but I don't think it mattered too much overall. They couldn't find anything to really kill. I mean, the mouse, but, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is also, if you pick that setup, like, obviously, hindsight, but if you pick a setup consisting of 4 IS-7s, triple 277, the enemy team is not going to commit straight somewhere. Like, if you pick a setup like that, it's like, yeah, we are going to push you immediately, right now. And then, you know, on the enemy team, on the enemy lineup, you have a CS63 that immediately finds a lot of your tanks. That means on the other side, people are going to advance, people are going to get into hold-on positions. And if you just push everywhere, that means everywhere you are going to lose HP, because that's invariably what's going to happen. Your guns are not stationary. Your guns are the ones that are moving, and you're giving just so much time to react, because Muravanka, not the smallest of maps. Yes, there is a lot of houses everywhere, but if you don't find initial success, which it will be hard because the enemy team sees your lineup, then it's a disaster, and that's what we just saw. They had to focus the mouse first. They killed him. At what price? Everything. They didn't even get the 60 TP as a follow-up.
No, it was an attempt made by the boys from Burger, and also you got to remember that those IS-7s were using grousers. Then they were using HP turbo grousers, right?
Yeah.
Which
So
lowers
the
their
DPM is not there.
lowers their non-existent DPM a little bit further. Why play for DPM anyways? When you don't have DPM key hand, why improve your DPM? Why not focus on other characteristics?
Yeah, that
Same as if you have a lot of DPM, why would you use a rammer, huh?
That sounds indeed like something someone would say. But, you know, there is 2 other people that I think have a lot to say about what we just saw. And those are called Insane, and also probably a very happy Toxic after that scoreline of 4-1. Guys, let's let us know what is up. My goodness.
Are you sick and tired of being relentlessly shamed for your lack of skins and loot boxes and other cool things? Well, don't worry about it. We've got you covered, Jimmy. Hi there, we're Million Pugs. You've probably seen our logo on stream, but here's what we actually do. Million Pugs earns you skins and in-game rewards whenever you shop online. When you shop with any of our partnered brands, you earn our own loyalty points, called Pugs. You then swap those Pugs for some spiffy World of Tanks loot like premium tanks, premium account access, and gold. Anyway, head on over to millionpugs.com now and sign up for free.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. And yes, it has been a very important victory for the side of Tango. None of us probably expect that apart from Toxic. I went for them with the tiebreaker, expecting a very close match, but it was actually a very good and convincing victory, 4-1 for them. They're going to be moving in the next round of the losers bracket, sorry. And we have Toxic to say goodbye to Burger, just like Cashback. They are going to have to get back to drawing boards and prepare for the next tournaments.
I mean, I said it before the match, you know. My prediction was 4-2, so I didn't get it quite correct. But I said it before the match. If one of those teams manages to build momentum, which Tango did, they will win either 4-0 or 4-1. And that's exactly what Tango showed. They had the momentum. They had that one troll round where they had 3 Minos that they might need to explain to someone later. But apart from that, really solid showing. Those players showing that they have some cohesion in the team. However, the match that they will be playing tomorrow versus Tango will be versus Hit and Run will be quite a challenge.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be very hard compared to Burger, because Hit and Run proved that after that bad performance on day 1, they were really good today against Cashback. So I think we can probably give more credit to Hit and Run for tomorrow, but for now we should probably take a look at the replays to see exactly what happened between those 2 teams. Toxic as we were starting on the mines, and it was looking not that bad, to even say pretty good for the side of Burger, because they managed to get the hill control with double CS versus 1. Yes, Victory is going to take a lot of damage for it, but looking in return also does so. What do you think about this?
I mean, the crucial factor in this match is that Tango was able to retake the hill, which basically just gave them the free victory. You see here, they did get the fire on the Serpenter and they bled some HP, but in the end they got the hill, and Burger didn't react whatsoever, or rather reacted very late, and that's what ultimately gave Tango the ability to just play down from the hill, which is this strong position that you can't really do anything against. and well-deserved victory from them in their attack.
I think the mouse made the difference there. I mean, he did 5k damage, and he has so much HPs. Bounce also a few of the shots from the 60ps possibly, so I think that was the deciding factor from the side of Tango. Yeah, they did bleed a lot to retake the hill, but the positioning was just much better for them. But next up, we had Burger on the attack, and honestly, what a good play it has been. The BZs overpicking from the hill to take down Reaction that already dropped low to take this position with the 60p, and you could see that then they managed to take this position over the 1-2-3 lines almost freely without taking too much damage. And it was very close at the end, almost managed to cap, but Tango, miraculously, actually getting the decaps and Bevy surviving at the end.
I gotta say, I didn't quite understand that peek from Sir Jacob. He was in position to decap like 4 seconds before he had to. He could have literally even went into a side scrap and got a safe reset. Instead, he just decides to drive around and not shoot whatsoever, which put them into this awkward situation in the end, where the only reason Vervi actually survived is the fire right now that you can see on Caesar, which made his reload be longer than it usually is, and he didn't get the last shot off.
Yeah, it was a very close one, and Tango was really happy to take it because they had the 2-0 lead going into Prokhorovka, but it didn't go well in that first round of Proko. The way they opted to defend was this triple Minotauro was not the greatest way against Berga, because you could see that they had the answer, taking the control of the eastern part of the map and forcing those tanks from Tango to rush for those decaps. It was a pretty solid all-rounded attack, I would say.
I mean, there's a reason that the Mino is a niche pick and a niche pick only, and it was demonstrated very beautifully here. Taking mainly Minos doesn't really work. Taking one of them is definitely sometimes a good choice, but I don't know, maybe Tango was overconfident already and wanted to test some new strats that they weren't able to pull off in scrims. Who knows? Some crazy people in there, like Crazy War. Maybe he had the idea, but it doesn't really matter for them, because even like this, you still have the chance to win your second round, and this is always the crucial round, because being up 3-1 gives you such an advantage that you have 2 match points after one another without the enemy being able to really take anything, that for Tango, that one round doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, next up it was Burger on the defense, and once again I'm not very happy about what I see from those teams on the defending side, because the tactic of the Isen committed on the hill, this is pretty risky, and you can see the coverage is not just enough. Tango with the great play actually repushing the hill with triple tank. I mean, if you take the Escon in consideration, the Bat plus Isen and the Escon covering, taking him out. And next, well, you see that Burger, they tried to react, they tried to overpush the middle, but Tango was just on point. They were ready for it, they were really well set. And at the end of the day, just look at the HPs. It's like 10k HP up from the side of Tango, complete domination on their attack.
Yeah, I remember playing these tournaments myself, and that Proco Def from Burger was what I always opted for when I ran out of strats. So not really the greatest thing to go for usually. However, Tango, you know, in their attack here on Murovanka, beautiful map, is able to just really outplay the tactic of Burger. This was over rather quickly in terms of tactics. It doesn't look very over, but the positions are just so ahead for Tango that it's really hard to kind of get out of this.
I mean, Tango didn't have to do much. Burger went for that very aggressive play, like with the base one, the middle, the forest, a bit all over the place, and in return Tango is just using tanks like Mouse, 60p to hold the middle, and they're pushing down the 2-3 lines, taking some tanks out in the process. So I would say that Burger themselves actually allowed Tango to take that easy victory by just holding and making the correct plays, which were not really hard to make.
I mean, maybe a bit of Burger outplaying themselves.